here it is, back to the Legend of Zelda: Link to the Past. So it would be now time to start searching for. Find that little spot around the lake that was mentioned to be something important or interesting or fun or something of you could say maybe plausible value. Yep, don't run into the cactus, man. You're gonna get damaged from it. So, but the southeastern part of Hyrule is, you could say, it has more rocky, dour color scheme, making it feel much less vibrant and live. But of course, because it's game scale, it ain't that much. And there's this interesting little cave, but there's also this little interesting looking side wall right next to it, which blowing up of course gives the triumphant sound, and it looks very cold in here. Color scheme is blue and all that. And there's this little chest ice rod, and I think that was exactly the big treasure that was required or requested, and it's also something that which is very necessary, but very much later in the game. Yeah, jumping into already foreshadowed that yep, you can actually jump to the streams, but apparently, judging by the player feedback, you don't have the required ability to do so, at least yet. And I would say that might be one of the few upgrades in this game which you can say require money. Best upgrades are something that the Link just loots from the dungeons and treasures and all that. But there's this little extra room. Well, I closed the chest, but nothing interesting in here. And there's this water path, which opens this water stream, which will be very necessary, but very much later. And it gives out a completely new item flushed out, a piece of heart. These, once you get 4 of them, gets you a 1 full heart container. So if you want to get the maximum amount of life, you have to find all of those as well. But getting some bombs is quite handy too. But I do say that the Link's dash run ability is very impressive. And that rock looks something that might be liftable, but not yet. Which is exactly how it is. You can eventually lift that rock and batter those poles, but not yet. Game's already foreshadowing that, yep, you're gonna get way more traversal abilities and tricks and stunts than the previous game had. But looks like that the next upgrade would be at the southwestern part of the Hyrule. But I did miss quite lots of different upgrades at the forest near the village and forest area, so I'll be getting there. Just run through these. Yeah, and I'm not particularly familiar with these landscapes, so there will be wrong turns and misdirections, but I do still occasionally make use of the dash boots just to cut some travel time. Let's just go in here. A nice little forest clearing. That's a mysterious thing, but yep, that's also a little hint that something will be up here way later in the game. So pay attention to that place as well. Lots of that kind of little locations already being shown. Right now I'm already approaching proper locations, but let's just go to this place first, see what's happening here. Oh, there's a guy. Oh, well, that ain't nice. Let's just. I'm gonna help you redecorate. Oh yeah, he is still bloody angry at you. Let's make sure. Oh. Well, I think he decides that no. And this is basically a little bit of a navigational, you could say, quest or puzzle, but you can cheat it. And another piece of heart to me. Yay. Oh, but let's just head back to the Kakariko village. I think that's this is the they were for original Zelda games had different locations, yes, but had villages, but this is the first game which had Kakariko village in it, and it has then become very much prominent location like the Link's hometown or something like else. But it varies. Ocarina of Time starts from Kakariko village, that one, much of that. But that's a little. That looks important. Let's shake the shelf to get it. Book of Mudora, aka Dictionary of Hylian Language, which Link doesn't know how to speak, but apparently he can read. And that book, I'm referring to Shotaro Ishimoto's adaptation, had quite well. As much as function goes, it followed the exactly same as in this game, but it had way more, you could say, embellishment in that one. So let's just look at in here. Nothing interesting. Oh yeah, I got them 2 bottles and a bug catching net. Nothing special around here then. That would also look quite much of a foreshadowing and ominous that something important might be around there. But that looks very much something that, yep, you ain't gonna get through that one. Oh, was there another path to the forest? Oh yeah, there was in here. Because there's Lost Woods has a couple of extra things which might be very much worth picking already now. And of course, there's this nice little mist. Stop making the nice little mist. And that guy's a thief. He's gonna loot your stuff if you let him get too close and cuddly with you, so don't do that. He's gonna bump some items of you, and now Link became person who gathers mushrooms. This looks very suspicious. Hey, once again dropping down to get somewhere else, and there's another piece of heart. Yay! Alright, now that's something like a hint or premonition of where to go, what to do. Once again, Link leaves the forest and move the overworld because there's this one little extra person that might be well, actually not might be, is interested about the mushroom. Well, let's just see, am I going the right direction? Maybe not. Yep, that's true. There's the bizarre fog appearing at the lost woods. That's why it's called lost, because you're gonna get lost in it because there's mist in there. But there's nothing really you could say special about there yet. Alright. Remember that one of these locations had something special in it that you uncovered by crashing into it. Not that. Now let's just go and look inside the cave. That was there something important here. Well, there's that, but piece of heart, but not any apparent way to get there. Let's try the bomb. No effect. Nothing special around here. Yeah. Nothing really important looking stuff. Anything in here? But let's do a little bit of a search on what's around here. Yeah, this is something like a guessing game, but I don't know, can you actually win anything truly valuable from that one? But that led to the outside. But let's just look at what was this here. Oh, it was this one. Damn it. The warning bells is still ringing. It's really annoying sound, and I'm 100% certain that it was made made on purpose to be annoying. And there was a lot of bees in there, which did get quite upset about it. Nope, I'm not picking fights against those. So it's a bit of random wandering about us here, but that one I was able to crash through, and there must be something handy here. Oh yeah, fun piece of heart. Gave me full refill as I got it. And I do say that that did hit the spot. Dashing past the graveyard. Interestingly enough, once you now actually start to look about that longer history of Zelda games, is that this game established lots of shorthands and stylings that the later Zelda games would use, like the fact that the Master Sword is hidden in forest, explicitly in forest, not in any dungeon or anything like that. It's just placed into forest. Oh yeah, that one. And the witch wanted to get mushroom. So let's just have a talk with that. Oh, well, there it is. So from here, let's just have a talk with that. Let's just go on. I guess I might have to leave the screen and come back, so it resets. Yep. The powder of crack cocaine. This stuff is, well, magic powder. It has the ability to make enemies, well, it does funny stuff. And it's also the one which works on the spinny skull thingies, makes them, defeats them. And it also has quite an effect on some other critters as well. But generally speaking, it's just a method to take care of those skull enemies. Now I'm doing a big fat dash, trying to get to the desert. It's more like a south in here. Yep, the game is completely linear. Well, at least in this phase, game is very completely linear about in which order the dungeons have to be tackled. The original one, first one, was not linear at all. Beyond, hey, was it something that you have to defeat dungeon 3 before you can go to dungeon 4, because the item of dungeon 3 is the one which allows you to get to dungeon 4, and yeah, I think that, and of course every other dungeon has to be defeated before final dungeon. But after that, it was very much do in whatever order you want. Alright. Oh yeah, this is the path to the desert. Very narrow little dull pathway, but nothing else than that. That is very explicitly said that that guy is up to no good. And there's a fairy fountain if you've been taken any damage, but it is quite unnecessary so far, because I am heading towards the desert palace. Yep, here it is. The big grand desert in Hylia. New kinds of monsters, new kinds of things and critters stumbling about, and not much, you could say, grand setting when you look about it, because this game, but there's written something in there, so let's just use the dictionary to read it. Yeah, Link seems to have pink hair, or he's going bald already at young age. Yeah, the graphics in this game have some weird quirks in them. But that ominous looking face is quite clear, telling that, yep, you're getting inside to this second dungeon. Desert themed, has these ice spitting monsters, and generally just generally all kinds of land creatures showing up. Not, you could say, something truly impressive and intimidating, but still quite interesting. And apparently this was just a path outside, so made a big mistake. Yeah. Open up the door. Well, at least now I know not to go there. That should tell you that I'm not expert in this game. But it is not, I'm not playing through this blind either. Yeah, I'd say that the graphics in this game, as good as they are for the era, which it was a lot, and gameplay and level design was very much something that Nintendo took very seriously in designing this game. Let's just try to check this wing first. Yeah. Right, there's some. Right, opening up the lanterns does not do anything big. Let's just head down and get another piece of heart. Yay, that was a bonus or secret or something else. Not that much of a, you could say, big. Apparently crashing into that. Bad health, so I'm not being that. Yeah, those spinny eye things, they can be fooled by just walking by them. At least I got a few pieces of heart get me through, and there was, well, heart piece over there, but nothing special in there. And so let's just grab that, and yeah, I know that mostly because you can't, but the gameplay design is well, it's been made so that you can't get through dungeon without finding its treasure, and usually also the boss of the dungeon demands using that exact explicit same treasure to defeat it, which would also become quite common design choice in Legend of Zelda games. Well, this map. And of course, the map rooms don't necessarily tell exactly what they're doing because they don't tell you the layout of the room. Meaning that room which on the map may look like something that it just lets you walk right through it, or they say has path in through, may not in reality have any kind of path forward. What's there making spitting sound? But the key went right here. And unlike the first Legend of Zelda, there are no special means to keep your keys from the dungeons. Basically, getting through the dungeon means you got the just I dash right through it and got the big key, which of course leads me to further. Found the big chest, but I'm a bit suspicious that does it give me where I really need to go. Health piece still anyways. And interestingly enough, for a desert themed stage, there really isn't that much of the, like say, common desert type kind of enemies, like all kinds of mummies and that kind of things. Alright. Yep, Link has now the lift rocks ability. Two kinds of rocks, light colored rocks and dark colored rocks, and Link has the lift rocks tier 1 power-up ability. It's been, well, I guess it's something that instead of allowing him to hit fast, it allows Link to make you do some regular muscle work more effectively, and without the lifting rocks ability that you can't get. But now I had the lifting rocks ability, they would be it is now the second half of the work. That doesn't work. That did work. And here's another of the special threat peril rooms. Floor attacks you. Those pieces don't have any tracking ability, but they do come at you as a straight line, so dodging is required, but not that difficult and about. And there's limited amount of those rocks, so it's basically a test of endurance. Heal as well, so getting through that. A nice little design of this room. Now I don't have any idea what those gribbly worm thingies are named. Well, there are some gribbly worm thingies that you can, what do you say, you have to wipe out. Yeah, pick up the vases to pick up the key, and already I'm at the boss door. I would say that this was a bit easier dungeon than the first one, at least in sense how much wondering about the weirdness I've gone through. And that's one of these things that, yep, unless you have defeated the previous one, you don't have any chance of taking care of that one. But there's this little mystery, what to do now? Oh, open like this, and grand spectacle thing, the big wall moves around. That kind of spectacle did not happen at the previous Zelda games. Wall opening like that. Arm myself with what I have. Fairy in a bottle, personal slave, and here's the boss, Lanmolas. Yep, there's a... three big worm things which appear from ground. And when they appear the ground, they spray dirt. But after that, beyond that, they just don't do much anything interesting beyond, well, spraying about. So it's basically just a smashing fight. And yes, I once again referring to Shota Ishimori's adaptation, which does have this boss fight in it, but it's against one, and it's just way more epic and grand, big giant monster. Or being a competent comic book artist or with long resume, it would have been quite easy to expect that. Yep, he's gonna make boss fight grand scenes into way more grand. It's quite unknown to. You didn't notice that it sprays into many directions. Yeah, this is not the land molars were not that dangerous, but the second pendant is mine. Pendant of power. And with this, it is time to also finish this episode of Legend of Zelda: Link to the Past. There gonna be way more empty wanderings and business around, so be prepared for that. So I'll see you next time. See ya.